G'day everyone. So I just wanted to pop on and give the 3 people who have been wondering an update on where I've been and what's been happening. So the last 6 to 8 months have been really something health-wise for me. So I probably start with the physical health stuff. So around April, May, I think, I got my doctor and I figured out was a chest infection. It took about a month to figure out what was wrong. Had to get x-rays, etc. 2 courses of 2 different antibiotics later, it cleared up. And so that lasted about 2 months and was pretty unpleasant. And then I think that the antibiotics messed with the microbiome in my gut, because a couple of weeks after that cleared up, I wound up with some sort of lower abdominal infection. So not gastro, but somewhere in my lower abdomen became quite inflamed and infected and painful. And so I couldn't use any of my abdominal muscles. I couldn't, every time I sat up or rolled over or did anything at all, you use your core for everything. And anytime I did anything, I was in quite a severe amount of pain, wound up at a hospital in an emergency department because of it. And that took about a month to resolve as well. So physical health wise, I keep getting different infections. And then the chest x-ray that I got because of the lung infection, the radiographer told my GP that he thought that the right side of my heart looked enlarged on the images, and the GP was undecided. So then I had to go and get an echo, and I had to wear a heart monitor for a day. I'm still waiting on the results of those tests. So in terms of my physical health, it's been a bit of a dumpster fire sort of for months now. I hope I'm on the mend. I'm still, as I said, waiting for the heart rate results or the heart test results, but hopefully everything's okay. I don't know. I also should mention with my heart that I've been diagnosed as neurodivergent, and I started medication to treat it, and some of the side effects of the medication can be, it can accelerate or increase your heart rate and your blood pressure. And so I started looking at my heart rate data more closely from my smartphone, what it was tracking and picking up. I found out, going back through my heart rate data, that my heart rate periodically spikes up at 160 or 180, like I'm doing pretty intensive exercise, and I am absolutely not doing any form of intensive exercise at all. I am very unathletic. So that data which I showed my GP, plus the radiographer thinking my heart was enlarged, meant that I had to go and get heart tests done. So you also know from the title of the video that I have been diagnosed as neurodivergent. So that happened at the end of last year, about a week before my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I was diagnosed with both ADHD and autism. And I was completely blindsided by the diagnosis. I basically agreed to do the testing when it was suggested to me because I thought the idea was a little bit ridiculous and far-fetched, so I didn't think it was a high-risk thing to do. So I agreed to do it very offhand, thinking it's not going to pick up anything, and then I came back positive for both and not mildly for either. So it did sort of strike me how I started the channel initially saying I was incredibly tired and my life lacked a lot of structure that I thought other people had, and I hadn't conquered some basic adult life skills that my friends and my peers seemed to find easy, and I was bothered by that and wanted to address it. And a couple of years later, it turns out that I'm neurodivergent, and that's why. So yeah, I've just been dealing with that, trying to come to grips with it. Honestly, it took me months to actually accept the diagnosis. I'm only just getting there now. I did think it was a little overdramatic and didn't really suit, I didn't really buy into it for multiple months. So I'm only just starting to accept that I meet criteria for both of these disorders, and I suppose the next steps will be starting to figure out what does that mean and how do I deal with that in terms of managing my house and my life, etc. So I don't think the content of the channel will change too much. I'm still going to be trying to manage a house and manage an adult life and feed myself and make healthier choices and do healthier things, but it's now going to be in the context of my being neurodivergent. So hopefully you're interested in that, and hopefully I can figure out some strategies. It is all completely new to me. Like I said, the diagnosis was a complete shock, and I thought I knew what ADHD and autism were and could spot them, and it turns out I didn't and I can't. And so I'm going to have to figure out what these things actually are and how I manage them, and then implement strategies and stuff for my day-to-day life. So it's been a really big 8 months, and I have been dealing with all of that, and so have been posting pretty inconsistently. So apologies for that if you actually care. I will try to be more consistent from now on. It was really good to get back in front of my phone, because I use my phone, and actually chat and communicate. Hopefully this wasn't too boring, and I will see you on the next one.